Financial planning tutorial part 3. And today we're going to talk about the insurance. We're going to skip over the retirement tab for a second because retirement tab, that's where everything is based on. And I want to give that the time that it needs. So we're going to go right into the insurance section of our software here because it'll be a little bit easier to go over. Maybe we'll actually do insurance and estate in this one video. I think we might. So insurance and estate. And if you like what we see here, don't forget to subscribe down below, my friends. Subscribe because we're doing a lot of videos and you want to keep up to snuff for sure. All right, so basically, in this case, we got life insurance, we got disability and long-term care. Generally, this gets a short shift in terms of, I think, financial planning analysis, because I do think there's a reason to have life insurance. I also think there's many reasons not to once you hit retirement. If you have no debt, unless you're creating an estate that you want to leave to your church or kids or something like that, you don't really need life insurance. I mean, you could. I'm not saying get rid of it. If you don't have it now and you don't have any debt, you probably don't have a huge need for it, frankly. Now, there is insurance, second to die life insurance, that I've done a video on, which I'd like for estate planning in terms of creating an estate to leave assets to other people or entities. Again, your church, whatever it is you want. Second to die life insurance, I'm pretty fond of, but that's a wish, not a need. And right now, we're just focusing on the needs to make sure Bob and Jane can get by in retirement. And it breaks down all the numbers right here. I don't know. Do we have current life insurance? I don't remember having any current life insurance. Oh, I guess we did, didn't we? We had term in there. All right, so they do have some life insurance. Jane had proposers, yeah. So Jane has $50,000, Bob has $350,000, and they're covered. They don't need any proposed additional. I wonder if you can move this around. Yeah. So all right. So look at that. You can move this around. Say proposed additional coverage is $750. We don't need that. So anyway, right now they're saying, I mean, I can put whatever I want there. They don't need any more life insurance. They don't even need that insurance right there. Presumably, I don't know, but we're gonna dive into this right here. It's nice to use. I just, at the end of the day, I just not sure it's a huge issue. Let's just say if we put, another $750 for Bob, what it shows us. What if Bob dies next year? That's the amount that Jane would get under current. Okay, so they're taking. Yeah, what is that exactly? So Jane would get Bob current. She get the $350. Okay, that's everything. I see what it is. Oh, that's actually pretty cool. I didn't realize that until just right now. So thanks, guys. All right, so Bob dies next year. Jane's going to be 63, and she'll get $881,000 of assets. It includes the $350 in life insurance. It includes the $250 in his 401k, and that includes the house, half of the house that they own. So that's what they're looking at right there. So, I mean, okay, that works. But all right, so let's. Yeah, right there. Okay, well, that's kind of cool. It says how much he will get if she dies next year and the vice versa. All right, I like that. Don't care all that much because they don't need to have a huge life insurance need. Disability, once you hit over 60, not much of disability need. Disability coverage analysis. I'm not licensed to talk about disability. I mean, I can talk about it. I don't sell any of this stuff, and I'm not an expert on disability by any stretch of the imagination. We'd want to get a disability expert on here if this is something that you need to discuss. I know enough to be damn. I'd have that conversation, but I certainly wouldn't tell you what you need to do. I'd want you to talk to somebody. I do know about long-term care. I'm pretty familiar with that. Again, I don't sell any of this stuff. I don't have any insurance licenses. And my wife just told me she's getting one of the kids. All right, so we talk about impact of long-term care. We can all kinds of different things to do. So we say, hey, we wanted to get $250 of coverage, just a million different things a Sunday to do here for long-term care. And what you see is current long-term care daily coverage. They don't have any insurance. All right. Proposed additional daily coverage, proposed death benefit, proposed elimination period. So let's just go 90 days elimination period. 2 years is typically what we'd want. We want a proposed inflation adjustment of, I don't even think anyone does compounding anymore. Simple. Proposed annual premium probably ain't gonna be $75. I'll tell you that right now. We'll say $4,000 a year. And the nice thing about this, we can, look at that. What I love about this stuff that Right Capital uses is just on Bob. And actually, we won't even need the coverage for him. We need it more for her. But anyway, what I love about it says, look, proposed coverage results in $167,000 less in assets. Why? Because they're spending $4,100 a year for the coverage. That's it. So if you don't need the asset, if you don't need the coverage, and you're going to get it, it's going to cost you $167,000 of your overall asset base because of that. So that's you got to think about that. Is that worth it? So we can run these numbers all day long to see what we need, and I like it. I think that's actually pretty cool that it does that. But now the alternative, of course, is if you don't have the coverage and you need to have long-term care need, what happens? Well, in that case, you're going to run out of money. So you got to weigh those options right there. I would, again, want to bring on an expert in this. And an expert is not a broker or somebody who does this part-time. An expert is someone who does this, focuses it on it solely. When I was up in New Hampshire, there's a lady, I forgot her name up there, and that's all she did. She knew all the programs, all the ins and outs. Yeah, she got paid a commission. She was happy to tell you that. I had no problem with that at all. I do not believe when it comes to long-term insurance or just disability insurance, we just find somebody who does a couple policies a year. How can that person know what's going on in the market? Because this market right here is always changing. And when you need to file a claim, that's the last time you want to find out if the person who sold you the policy knew what the heck she or he was talking about. So in this regard, when it comes to this, we want to get an expert to talk to, knowing full well the expert gets paid. Is that worth it? That's up to you to decide. A generalist is not an expert by any stretch of the imagination. We know enough to tell you what you need to do, but what we don't know can come back and haunt you in many, many ways to Sunday, just because ignorance is not bliss when it comes to your need to file that claim. All right, so that's the long-term care insurance. I'm going to throw estate in here as well. There's not much. That's one drawback about Right Capital. They don't have a huge estate thing. They kind of just don't even think that much. Yeah. They just said will, power of attorney, beneficiary designation. So we can check all this stuff, and that's fine. I wish they had a little bit more. Let's see what they say for analysis. The flow charts. The flow chart's okay. Taxes and fees. That's actually not so bad. Okay. I guess I haven't really dived into that. I do kind of like the taxes and fees thing. The e-money thing that we had that I was using last year was, just the estate stuff was fantastic. So I guess I'm biased in favor of the e-money one. I haven't really dived too much into the Right Capital estate planning tools yet. It's pretty good. I have to dive into that a little bit more. So part of my ignorance here, I just started using software about 3 months ago, and I like it. It's just a lot to look at there. I keep it simple, stupid. So let's see comparison. Okay, I might need to dive a little bit more into this. That doesn't look so bad. Taxes and fees. Okay, hey, well, I might have to revisit this. I'm a fan of seeing that. So we'll have to look at that at a different time. That isn't the point of this today, but I don't know if they changed stuff or not, but this is a heck of a lot different than it was before when I looked at it initially 3 or 4 months ago. All we really had was this and this flow chart that didn't do much. So I think they must have added some stuff that I have not been privy to, or at least haven't looked at, just due to my own laziness or just ignorance. So this is actually starting to look okay. Estate tax, probate, net estate. I'm actually interested in this. All right. So I kind of like what I'm seeing here. Do they say anything about income taxes? I don't see anything. Net to heirs, estate tax. There is no estate tax. Probate. That seems a little bit high to me, but bear with me just 1 second, my friends. Comparison. Taxes and fees. Where? Well, I have to. I don't know how they're getting that taxes and fees. Ooh, what's this? Let's give us a tax income. That's not what I need. Oh. All right, well, there's some good stuff here. I am going to revisit that again. I wish they could say, where is that proposed? Where's those taxes? 165,000 taxes and fees. Where is that coming from? It's coming from, well, I guess it's coming from probate and funeral expenses. It's not coming from the income tax to the heirs. And that's what I liked about the e-money is to show you the income tax to the heirs. And they're not showing that. Total tax and expenses. That's too bad. All right. Because the income tax to the heir, probate's not going to cost $90,000. I'm sorry. If you have nothing but a 401k and a home, it's not going to cost $90,000. That's crazy talk. Well, I guess we can reduce it to anything we want. Watch this. We can put zero. I mean, it probably costs you $5,000 at most, but let's just put zero down there. Refresh. There we go. So refreshed it. And then we'll go down here, and that should reduce this. Yeah, so look at that. Well, where are they still getting that $35,000 from? Funeral expenses? All right. So I'm mumbling here. So anyway, all right. So that's the estate. The estate and the insurance stuff are good. Again, when it comes to estate planning, I like the tax side of it. I'm going to show you that in the next episode, the tax side of how this works, because the tax stuff on Right Capital is fantastic. That's where it butters his bread. Man, I just wish they would show the income tax to the heirs. I tell you, that thing with e-money. Fidelity owns e-money. And like what you see here, as always, subscribe down below. Comments are very, very helpful for what I'm doing here. So definitely put comments and thumbs up too. And stay tuned for part 4. All right, we'll see you next time. Thanks, guys.